going live now?
Yep.
Good luck, guys. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Yokohama City, the Yokohama Arena. This is the NISSAY B.LEAGUE Finals, and it's Game 2 between Utsunomiya Brex and Chiba Jets. Well, as the broadcasters line up from all over, including the host here in Japan, we are watching from afar and bringing you the action after really what can only be described as a beatdown yesterday. Chiba Jets winning Game 1, 85-65 over Utsunomiya Brex, and Chiba going for the sweep today as they try to win this B.LEAGUE championship for the very first time. Exciting times for that club, but of course tough going today. So here we are looking at some highlights of, well, I'll turn it over to some of my co-hosts here, Josh Bett and KJ Matsui. I'm Jeff Taylor bringing you the action again. Of course, I believe, KJ, that's one of our colleagues there in Japan. Some highlights of him doing some commentating, and he looks a little bit embarrassed there.
Yes, he played the player this last season, and then he just retired. But he's 42 years old. He's one of the oldest Japanese played in D1, and now he's the general manager of Yokohama. So he's going to stay with the team, and obviously he's played a lot years with Brex and all different teams. So he's familiar with all these guys, and I think he's going to be a good commentator.
And what was his name again? Remind me.
Ken Takeda.
Oh, okay. Well, Josh, exciting atmosphere here as well. I think that you're looking for Brex to pull even today, despite the blowout yesterday. And Chiba Jets really got after them, asserting themselves on the boards, winning that battle. When Chiba Jets win the battle of the rebounds, the battle of the boards, they are tough to beat. What do you see happening today?
Well, today it has to be about pride for Brex, because Brex have to defend their title from the season. They were the best team in the B-League this year, but this is the playoffs. The playoffs is a completely different game. As for the Chiba Jets, it's about hunger, desire. One game away from clinching that first ever B-League championship. Yuki Tsugashi has a big point to prove. He wants to prove to everybody that he is the greatest point guard in Japan, that he means business. Now, for Brex, it's a big difference. Ryan Roster has to come ready to play. He has to step up big time. So does Makoto Hiyajima, and so does Kai Tebs. A lot of players need to step in. LJ Peak as well. For them, it's either win now or the regular season doesn't mean a thing.
So you can see the path to the finals for both of these teams. Jets beating Seahorses, Makawa, and of course Ryukyu Golden Kings. And the Brex beating the Sunrockers and the Brave Thunder to get here. And, well, you know what? It's never think that one game is going to be like the previous game. But as we look back at these highlights, Shudokara came out right away and got the good vibes going for Chiba Jets. And they started strong, but Utsunomiya Brex came out and answered nicely, KJ. And it seemed like in that first half, you know, it was game on for the rest of the way.
Yeah, I think so. Chiba jumped on them, hitting threes, and played good defense. And then Brex came back. And then, you know, I thought after the first half, it's going to be, you know, whoever's going to get the momentum is going to win it. And Chiba was really focused, prepared, and then everybody stepped up and made shots, made the plays, and they came up with victory. So to Brex to win today, I think everybody has to step up, and every possession counts. Every rebound is going to count, and they have to play for 40 minutes.
Well, you saw Josh Duncan there. He was among those that ended up having a big game. Chiba Jets finished with 4 players in double digits in points. Josh Duncan, you look at the stats, and just 1 more 3 for Chiba Jets, but 7 more made shots inside the arc. And, of course, the biggest stat of all down there at the bottom, that superior rebounding. And, of course, when you crash the offensive boards the way this Chiba Jets team does, you give yourself second and third chances on every possession. That is hard to overcome for an opposition. So they had 16 offensive rebounds of their 40 rebounds. And Sebastian Seiss and Gavin Edwards were just tremendous in that regard. Josh, looking at that lineup for Chiba Jets, you know what? The one thing that stands out to me is depth. They go pretty much from top to bottom with so many different options for Coach Atsushi Ono.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned some big names there, of course. I mean, there's Josh Duncan, Seba Seiss, not to mention Gavin Edwards. Those are your bigs that are going to take care of the business down low. But, of course, the X factor, the one player that, you know, for me, who's probably been the best player off the bench, co-flipping. As you mentioned, a lot of depth.
本当にポゼッションで負けることがあったら、自分たちに不利な状況が本当に多くかかってくるので、そこをしっかり勝とうということを選手は体現してくれたんじゃないかなと思っています。
初優勝にかける選手たちへの思いというのは近くでご覧になって感じるところいかがですか。
そうですね。全然リラックスしてないのでね、もう一つ勝たなければ意味がないので、もう一つ勝つことに集中していこうと思ってます。
Well, typical things that you would expect a coach to say for Coach Ono, and he's right. KJ, you know, Utsunomiya Brex, the one player that perhaps they rely a lot on, who wasn't able to give them as much production as usual, is Ryan Rossiter.
改めて昨日のゲーム1の総括からお願いできますか。
そうですね、なかなか自分たちの展開に持っていけなかったり、ちょっとブレックスらしさみたいな部分もあんまり出せなかったんで、今日はね、もうその分しっかりうちらしいバスケットまず展開したいなと思います。
点を取ることと点を与えないこと、今日のゲームに関してはいかがでしょうか。
基本的には点を与えないことですかね。相手のやりたいようなバスケットをさせないっていうのが一番重要だと思うので、ディフェンスからオフェンスにつなげていけるようなバスケットしたいなと思います。
ありがとうございました。
KJ, when you looked at the face of Coach Anzai there, did you see a little bit of anxiety, or did you see more confidence that we're going to get this right today? Well, we look at the referees lining up for today's game. And the players, they're ready. The fans are ready. And we're ready. So, again, we'll get a look at the starting fives before these teams come out. And I suppose, Josh, you know, you've already touched on this for the Brex about, you know, what they can do, who can step up. Literally right here before the finish, you know, how crucial is this start for Utsunomiya Brex today?
Oh, Jeff, it's imperative. They need to control the tempo. They must set the tempo very early and maintain dominance over this game. And that starts with defense as well. Defensively, they have to ensure they defend the pick and roll of Yuki Togashi. The way you stop that is you got to come out and stop him in his tracks very, very quickly.
2年ぶりとなる
Well, once again, the big welcome for the B.LEAGUE Finals. I'm not sure we don't see his mascot friends yet, so it could be that they're going to come out. What do you think about those mascots?
Oh, I love it, Jeff. I think it's fantastic. This is what you got to love about B-League basketball. They've got an eye on the past and an eye on the future. You mix in the current basketball culture with great, beautiful Japanese tradition, and that's why you've got to love it.
You know, one thing we didn't really talk about for these two teams with Brex and Utsunomiya there. Didn't get in yesterday. You know, Chiba Jets played, you know, battle-hardened. They had some really tough games during the regular season. Their semifinals went to Game 3. And I would imagine, Josh, that being battle-hardened really helps them in these situations.
Yeah, no doubt about it, of course. I just think they're very clinical. They know how to play at the right time. I mean, you see this very often in professional basketball. In fact, you have a regular season, and then you have a playoff system as well, which is a championship. You know, over the regular season, your team might not have a lot of injuries. You might have a lot of depth like Utsunomiya and Brex have. When you've got players such as Ryan Rossiter, Kai Tebs, not to mention Mikoto Hiyajima, there's a lot of options you could go to as well. You mentioned the big name, of course, there, Utsunomiya. But for Chiba Jets, for their case, it's almost like they've just clicked at the right time. The right players are stepping up, and it's their ball game. And right now, they're proving that they are the better basketball team.
Well, during the regular season, certainly Utsunomiya Brex got the better of Chiba Jets, but it was a strange season. Regular season in terms of dealing with the coronavirus pandemic. And I think you alluded to it at the very beginning. You have the regular season and you have the championship. And those are two distinctly different seasons. You have to turn it up a notch once you get to the championship. And Chiba Jets, in most of their games, have really distinguished themselves as they go after this trophy, something that they have not won in the B-League yet since its launch back in the 2016-2017 season. So the crowd watching the players as they're introduced. KJ, you know, looking at you still play basketball in the B-League. As we look at the starting five here for Chiba Jets, I'll just reel that off for you once again. It's going to be Josh Duncan, Tagashi, Sato, Saiz, and Shutahara. What is the difference going from the regular season to the championship in terms of intensity?
I mean, you know, every level of basketball, like everywhere in the world, you know, the regular season and playoffs is different. You know, everyone wants to win championship. Everyone wants to hold a trophy at the end. So the concentration, intensity, execution, strategy, everything is level up, and player has to execute on big stage to win the championship.
So in their meetings during the regular season, the Brex beat Chiba Jets more times. I think they met, was it 4 times, and the Brex won 3 of them. But this is just a totally different arena, a totally different atmosphere, and it does seem like Chiba Jets in the championship have been able to turn it up a notch. As you look at their starting five, it's going to be Peak, Endo, Ikaruga, Rossiter, and Josh Scott.
Yep, I think so. Even though they beat Chiba more times regular season, but now this is a totally different situation. The winner will go home, and you can't really feel like that in regular season. And they're on the heels right now, so they had to really they had to do anything to get that victory.
Well, Coach Ansai and the Brex, they have been introduced, and I should also ask you, you know, this season, because you played against both of these teams, you know, when you looked at the Brex, who did you guys, or what was your primary focus going into those games?
First of all, when we play against Brex, their offensive rebound was really tough. So not just relying on bigs, we had to get guards to box out and help bigs to get a good position. So that's what we focused on. And against Chiba, we don't have to turn the ball over because they are really good in transition and also ball screen defense, especially number 2 Togashi. Shorter is going to use a lot of ball screens, so we focus a lot on not helping too much on the weak side and also try to be tough and break the screen.
Okay, once again, you can see the starting fives for both of these teams: Peak, Endo, Ikaruga, Rossiter, and Scott for the Brex, and for Chiba Jets, Josh Duncan and Yuki Tagashi, Sato, Sais, and Hara. What must be going through the minds of Tabuse, the veteran guard, as he watches the Brex take the court here in this Game 2 of the B-League Finals. Well, hello everybody, and once again welcome to Yokohama City, the Yokohama Arena. Chiba Jets wearing the red and winning the opening tip, going up against the Brex, and scoring immediately is Seba Sais to put Chiba on top. They lead this finals 1-0. Brex try to answer, and they do. The three-pointer from Endo.
I like that shot by Endo because he didn't hesitate to shoot, and it was good luck, and he knows that he has to score for Brex to win.
Tagashi with the answer. Well, the signs are good. It's going to be a hot one. Endo this time takes it with confidence but misses, but a good development for this Brex team. A couple of offensive rebounds. And now the turnover. Rossiter gets it to Scott. Scott misses an easy one, but again, another offensive rebound. Boy, we didn't see much of this at all yesterday.
Yeah, but Jeff, that's a really poor play previous by Yuki Tagashi. Had to realize that Seba Sais had the mismatch and just had the ball in his hands too long. Very poor turnover.
Shudahara pushed out and takes a very difficult shot. Ryan Rossiter rebounds it. Beautiful bounce pass for his outlet, and then Tagashi reaches in and commits the foul.
I see today's game more high pace and more a lot of up and down compared to yesterday. I think players are feeling more comfortable playing this arena. So I hope to see a lot of high scoring offensive game.
Endo, his pass goes off the hands of Scott.
Scott's got to do a better job.
Yeah, it does seem that overall, though, you feel the body language, you feel this Brex team looks a little more comfortable in these surroundings. Tagashi pulls up for another three. Endo. Now, Ikaruga and to Scott for the two-handed jam. Well, we talked about needing a good start today, and the Brex have certainly had that. Duncan gets in, and they're going to say the foul was before the shot. Great hustle down the floor by the Brex, getting the dunk by Josh Scott.
Well, that's good for Brex because any missed shot, they need to get out in the break and need to control the tempo of this game very early on.
Now driving in and missing with Shudahara. Ikaruga up to Rossiter. And Rossiter fouled by Takuma Sato and wanting an unsportsmanlike foul.
If Chiba thinks
Rossiter.
that they can get offensive rebound like yesterday, and then everybody try to get offensive rebound, that's not good because Brex is a really good defensive rebound team, and if Brex gets defensive rebound, they can push the ball too. And
Wow, how about Peak?
Wow.
And they are going to count it.
That's a charge, I think.
Oh, no, excuse me, wrong.
charge.
Yeah, they
Peak
call it
looks
charge.
over.
I think Peak is confused.
Yeah, I think he must have been listening to me.
I have to see
He
the
was
replay
listening.
of that one.
So Peak a little bit amused, but I still like the play that he's being aggressive and going to the basket. And Coach Anzai calls the timeout. And what do you think about Keijuro? Have you ever had to play with a face mask before? And could that be
Yes,
bothersome?
yeah, I think I broke my cheekbone one time, nose, and then I had to wear a face mask, and it's really irritating because you lose a little bit of like side vision wearing mask and sweats and all that stuff. Especially as a shooter, it's kind of hard because you rely so much on eyes and ball touch and all the vision. So, but Rossiter, I don't think you can't complain because he's hurt from the semifinal, and he has to wear a mask and play.
Well, it certainly makes him look more like a superhero, doesn't it? Wearing that mask out there. So anyway, Josh, Utsunomiya have come out aggressive. They've played with some confidence, and I think that's a good timeout to try to reset the table here for Chiba Jets as they try to slow down this Utsunomiya Brex team. Remember, Chiba Jets winning the opening game by 20 points. Okay, so
they have called the foul.
yeah, they did call the foul. Okay, now I'm proud of myself. I thought I'd blown it, and he gets the three-point play, Pete. And it is going to be Tagashi. Seven-point deficit facing Chiba Jets. They didn't trail this much yesterday at all, and now they turn it over. Shannon Shorter has checked into the game. Of course, that was an important development during that timeout. Also, Gavin Edwards has come into the game. So Ono wanting to change things up here. And when you want to do that, you put in Shorter for sure. Oh, driving in and scoring beautifully and easily, Ikaruga.
We did so well there off the pick and roll, Jeff, because they anticipated him passing the ball, but he just kept driving in and just gave it a sweet little finger roll off the backboard.
Shorter tries to make the bounce pass. Rossiter had him hemmed in. Keijuro, it was vital for this Brex team to have a good start today. Now they've given themselves a platform to build on.
Yes, I think so. First couple of minutes, the transition basket and Endo hitting first threes. I think that really gave Brex a lot of energy. And like I said, when they get stopped, whole bench get more energized. Coaches, that brings a lot more energy too. So I think right here, Chiba needs to get stopped and then get some momentum for themselves.
That was Josh Duncan. Josh Duncan called for the moving screen. So again, Ikaruga over to Peak, and Peak misses an open one, but another offensive rebound. Oh, bounce pass! Wonderful play. Ryan Rossiter finds Peak, and the lead has now grown to 11 points.
Jeff, I don't know if you remember, but Ryan Rossler's debut for Japan against Chinese Taipei, we saw so many no-look dimes. This big man can really pass the basketball.
Shorter in the paint. And finally an offensive board. Edwards gets it back outside. And the miss, and Rossiter chases down the ball. So Rossiter's become a very important member of the Japan national team. Scott! Oh boy, It's all working right now, even with the contact and falling down. Josh Scott gets it to drop. 13-point advantage.
I think Chiba needs to move the ball a little bit more. And then not just like see the mismatch, but they got to move the ball, pass around, get the defense moving too.
Well, that time Tagashi takes it down the lane and gets it to go. They just need anything positive to happen. Shudahara, meanwhile, commits the foul. And again, as we have a break in play here, and Jeff Gibbs is coming in, number 4, also co-flipping. And we see Fumio Nishimura, the backup point guard for Chiba Jets. From one game to the next, that's the beauty of basketball. You just simply do not know what you're going to get. This game bears no resemblance to yesterday's game. Great start for this Brex team. Also coming into the game is Fujiyama. Excuse me, coming into the game is Hiyajima, Makoto Hiyajima.
I just wonder, by bringing co-flipping right now, how many offensive rebounds he'll go in for, because as we mentioned him being an X factor, he's definitely a high energy player.
Size also back in the game. A little more movement here for Chiba Jets. They're flipping, though, loses it out of bounds. Pounded by that defense.
That's tough, because you can see he goes baseline. He wants to kick it out to the corner, but he's indecisive whether he wants to take the layup or kick out to the wide open shooter there. He should have made the pass a lot earlier.
Tejuro certainly looked like they were letting him play. Looked like a lot of hand checking all over Coach Flippin that wasn't called.
Yep.
Now the ball.
But I think that was, even though he made a turnover, but ball movement, player movement, and then drive was good, but just the decision making wasn't great. So if they keep playing like that, I think the league's going to cut down to single digits.
Well, Coach Flippin ends up wide open shot, and right on cue. It kind of came in the flow of the offense as you were talking about it. And sure enough, the lead does get down to single digits. Much better for Chiba Jets. Shorter guarding the taller Rossiter. Rossiter elects to pass it back out to Endo. And then coming from behind is Gibbs. And commits the foul.
Jeff, Keijiro made a very, very good point, is that the Chiba Jets, when they sort of go to their sets and their disciplines, they become a very difficult team to beat. But when they sort of improvise and go to this isolation, one-on-one style of basketball, that's when it sort of becomes a bit of a calamity for them.
Yeah, and also that Brex has very good individual defender and also, team defense. So when everybody's not moving and set, it's easy for any team to guard isolation.
Well, Coach Flippin, probably that one player who loves the one-on-one situation, and it doesn't matter who he goes up against. He seems to have that quick first step. Hiyajima not able to stay with him. Is it fair to say, Keijiro, that Coach Flippin is a revelation in this championship?
You can say that, I guess, because he didn't play as much minutes in regular season, not constantly. He plays 20 minutes one game. He might play 5 minutes next game. But from championship, this playoffs game, he's really stepping up. He really was prepared for himself. And, you know, he played really well yesterday's game, and now he's carrying the Chiba Jets, hitting the threes and driving. It's going to be tough for Brex to guard him because he's so quick, athletic. And if he gets going from outside, he might have 20, 25 points easily.
So Yuta Tobuse there, hoping to get in, one of the all-time most famous players from Japan. Had a spell in the NBA, of course. But Josh, you alluded yesterday. You said if Ko Flippin were on another team, in many teams in the B-League, he would be the main man.
Yeah, I made that comparison to Theo Papaloukas, one of the greatest point guards in Greek basketball history. But the thing is, it's almost like him coming off the bench makes him the great player he is for Chiba Jets. But I firmly believe that if he played on any other team, Hokkaido, Niigata Albrechts, he would be the franchise player for that team. Usually it's co-time in the third quarter, but Chiba Jets had to call in the young gun very early now.
You know what? I can honestly say, Keijiro, I have never seen that. A player taking a free throw and having his right foot on the line.
Yep, I never seen it. It's really rare, but referee is on top of the game too. So that
he absolutely is.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. That's a huge point, isn't it?
Yep.
You know, as a referee, you're, again, you see the push there on Edwards. You just assume the guy's going to be behind the line. Some guys even stand much further behind the line than they need to. A real mental mistake by Ko Flippin. Well, Nishimura chasing around the basketball and able to beat Josh Scott to it. He had the quick hands. Now Shannon Shorter on the open floor. And Shorter drives all the way in and banks it in. Iijima. Oh boy, almost a walk there by Rossiter. He follows and Shorter hustles down, but he's called for the travel. And you can just feel this Chiba Jets team all of a sudden turning it up a notch from an intensity standpoint, diving on the floor for the loose ball, getting down on the fast break. And all of a sudden, it is a very different Chiba Jets team. Iijima, shot clock down to 7. Edwards with the rebound. Shorter, left open. And the Brex in there that time battling for the rebound to keep those Chiba Jets away from the putback. Watanabe puts it up and nails it. And really, Keijiro, it is just so vital that they do a good job on the boards because I dare say yesterday, that previous possession for Chiba Jets, they would have had that offensive rebound and putback. But as it is, the Brex go down and score to take the lead back up to 7 points.
Yeah, I saw all 5 Brex guys in the paint last rebounding. Yesterday's game, all the Japanese guys were kind of like hanging in the three-point line, relying on the big to rebound. But today's game, you can see all 5 jerseys in the paint. So throughout the game, I think rebounding will be a crucial part. And then on the other hand, Brex scored, so I think it was good to keep them on the lead to end the first quarter.
Oh, Ko Flippin just keeps on doing it. If he could get just a few more minutes for Chiba Jets in these games, who knows? I mean, he could end up as the MVP of this team, especially if they come back and win this game. Iijima. Outside, Watanabe. Good!
Good shot.
Size. Go Well, he can hit that shot, but I suppose if you are the Brex, you're only too happy for Seba Size to be attempting three-pointers. And again, they take care of business on the boards, and now a chance to go back up by 10 or even 11 at the end of the first quarter. Watanabe's got the hot hand, picks up his dribble, gets it into Gibbs, and there for the follow! Takeuchi! Well, brilliant response by Utsunomiya Brex. They teetered just a little bit as Chiba Jets battled back, but the Brex finished strong, and they lead 26-16 at the end of one. So now we're going to look at the top plays from the semifinals of the Chiba Jets. Seeing this Golden King team refuse to go away. Now the Chiba Jets, are they just going to have too much today? Oh, and there's Gavin Edwards getting into the lane and throwing it down. Over to Coach Lipton. Decides to go to the basket. Oh, what about that? I thought he was going to do a pump fake and go up, and then he ended up going. We saw that yesterday. They were excellent in Game 2. Ugohara drives in, and there was the putback by Size. Shorter again. Gay! Boy, he is in his rhythm. Tough drive down low by Shurahara. That was Xavier winning the battle against Notre Dame. And Tagashi hits the three. Wow. Well, how about that? Watanabe coming out and just making a huge difference coming off the bench for the Brex, who, quite frankly, you know, it looked like that great work that they had early on in the first quarter was just going to vanish. But he came out and hit a couple of big shots. Then he made an important pass there at the end. Tagashi comes back into the game for Chiba Jets.
Jeff, I feel that the Utsunomiya Brex have weathered the storm. They built a surmountable lead. Chiba Jets pegged back. They just weathered a little bit. And Watanabe came in. He's hit some big shots. So they got to keep this lead going. Keep it being a very big margin between them and the Chiba Jets.
Watanabe gets it over to Pete. Back in the game as well for three. Well, Pete certainly wants to make an imprint on this game. He had the open look, so he took it. And now Shorter, who led the fight back in the first quarter for Chiba Jets, gets it down low to Size, who turns and misses. Takeuchi with an important rebound, and that's the name of the game right now is taking care of business on the glass. And the Brex are doing a good job of that. Gibbs says, why not? And Gibbs, another three-pointer for the Brex.
Well, he struggled so far in game one, but that's going to do his confidence a lot of good to step out and hit those threes because he has struggled to play in the low block offensively and defensively.
Size turns, and Yajima was there, called for the foul.
I think when Nishimura came in, second unit for Chiba, I think he did a really good job of calling the good plays, trying to use a lot of different players, move the ball around. So when Togashi came in second quarter, I think he needs to do same thing, not just give the ball to Size on the post and isolation, but we got to do a good job of distributing other players and also getting ball movement to take a good shot.
Yeah, very good point, Tejuro. And, you know, if it doesn't happen now, you wonder if we might see Nishimura back on the floor soon. Kind of hard to suggests taking Tagashi out of the game, one of the premier players in the B-League. But anyway, they cut it back to a 12-point game. Takeuchi. And the ball goes off of, it looked like possibly Ikaruga, co-flip and almost coming up with a steal.
That was very dangerous pass. Especially co-flip is really athletic. It can be a steal and a dunk on the other end.
Oh, nice pump fake. And the jump shot from Ikaruga.
He plays very fundamentally. He's not very flashy, but he always, take good shots and team player. So that was really pump fake, one dribble side, and then two-pointer. That was very good.
So Tagashi is starting to look like he might be heating up a little bit. And the bounce pass to Gibbs. There's Takeuchi again getting on the ground for the basketball and was able to pass it back out. It's plays like that that win basketball games. Watanabe goes!
That's gracious. Well, Jeff, we better make sure the lights don't turn out in this arena because he's going to shoot them out pretty quickly.
And now the offensive foul called. And Takeuchi is doing the business here defensively on the boards. And the Brex, one of the reasons why they lead by 15 points, their biggest lead of the game. Who would have expected this man to come out and make the impact that he has?
And he knows that Togashi is guarding him. Togashi cannot block my shot. That's why I think he's really aggressive shooting the ball.
Takeuchi this time called for the offensive foul. So Watanabe has come out and lit it up. So much so, in fact, that he has 8 points, which is a game high. He is now going to go sit down and take a break, and Kai Tez replaces him. So instant offense comes into the game for a guy who is red hot anyway. Here he is, Tez. He's got all the moves on offense. We were questioning perhaps a little bit of his defense yesterday. And now the reach and the foul called on Josh Duncan. Well, no, I didn't see a reach. But they
Saw
called
an
the
elbow
foul.
there.
Well, it's just tremendous hustle there by Gibbs. How many times today have we seen the Brex players diving on the hardwood to get the basketball?
Probably every time.
Endo misses from deep. Now the bounce pass and a hack by Kai Tez sends Edwards to the free throw line.
But Jeff, every time the Chiba Jets send it down to the low block, even to Seba Saiz, what's the other big players, it causes a lot of problems for the Brex. And right now, they're down by 15 points. That's the way they got to play. Throw it in the low block, get to the free throw line.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Like, I always hear basketball is the inside out, not from outside in. If you establish yourself inside, then defense is going to crowd to the paint. That gives open shots for the shooters and Togashi and other guys from outside.
To see if he can get some penetration here. He's looking, not able to break him down, so he hands it off to Endo. He turns, puts it up right before the expiration of the shot clock, and he misses. Tagashi finds
There we go.
Edwards. Wow, somehow able to maneuver his body in there for an easy layup.
Yeah, not trying to force the issue from the perimeter. Simple pick and roll. Give it to Edwards. Just get to the bucket.
Josh Scott back outside. Give and go. And fouled by Gavin Edwards.
And that's the right call, too, because Gavin Edwards was just a step too late. Right there, reaches over it, way too late. Good call by the official.
Boy, Atsushi Ono is really shuttling in his players in and out of the game. He brings size back in now for Edwards.
Yeah, it's tough. If Gavin Edwards gets foul trouble, that means Shannon Shorter cannot play same time with him. That takes away Shannon Shorter's creativity, pick and roll.
So I'm a little bit, I'm not sure if that was his second or third foul, Gavin Edwards. I think it was maybe his second. Co-flipping. Tagashi co-flipping over on the right. How'd you like to see co-flipping go at Kai Tevz? Oh, boy. And Josh Scott just, instead of bending over to go after it with his hands, just kicks the basketball.
I never seen it, but that's a really good, smart move. No foul, and now give it a chance to reset their defense.
Well, Duncan, open, and they get the rebound. Hikaruga, and over to Scott. This is going to be an unsportsmanlike, surely. Or did maybe Coach Flippin just had his hands on the basketball? Certainly the Brex are appealing for one.
Well,
Oh yeah, that's an
unsportsmanlike,
unsportsmanlike. Not even close. It'll be 2 shots and possession.
But Jeff, I got to give a shout out to one of the officials who's a good friend of mine. Takaki Kato was the referee at the FIBA World Cup in Foshan. Excellent official. So him and his colleagues will have no worries calling this one an unsportsmanlike foul, co-flipping.
Really, I mean,
Yeah, he kind of pulled his left arm.
Tejuro, that's not just an unsportsmanlike foul. That's a dangerous foul.
Yeah, because he already up in the air, and then pull guy in the air is probably really dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. Get him off balance. Tejuro, I take it that you're not really friends with any referees. Is that right, as a player?
I mean, I don't complain any of the calls, so I just basically, have a good relationship with all the referees, because I don't complain. Some guys, they complain, they have a hard time playing this game, so.
Tejuro just makes it rain from the court. He just shoots the ball,
Yeah. Maybe I complain when referee gives 2-pointers instead of 3-pointers.
Well, Miyajima over to Rossiter, and Rossiter! There it is. That's been missing from that Brex offense in the finals, but now he drains it, and the lead is his biggest of the game, 16 points. Duncan powers his way down low. And with 4:50 remaining, we have got an official timeout. It's Brex leading at 38-24. Let's have a look at the time.
And let's go on to the next segment of the show. Here, we will be explaining and introducing to the viewers attractions of the B-League that are not well known yet, called What's Up, B-League? Point 2. Asian player quotas.
今のはこれ並里ですね。
これです。この後、
これですね。
すいません。
ビハインドザバックですか。
わーって言っちゃいました。
と言わなくならせる。
さあ今度は富樫、この点を取られた後すぐに取り返す。おしゃれなパスがあった。この第4クォーターで遺憾なく発揮している名古屋。このパスは通らない。ファストブレイク。後ろに回しました。バーレルのダンク。
Kajuro, I was thinking that we were going to see some of your assists in that clip, but I suppose maybe for another day. Here we have Brian Rossiter again, just hit his first 3 of the game. And it's just all good right now for the Brex. They will not be comfortable, though. They know that Chiba Jets have got a lot of firepower, and there was a lot of work to do. Still 4:50 remaining in this first half.
Yeah, exactly, Jeff. Like, Brex cannot relax at all. 4:50 left. You know how Chiba can get up and down. They can hit all kinds of threes from every different player. So Brex has to finish strong in 4 minutes.
So Josh Scott spins right against size. Oh, goodness gracious! What a finish from Scott, who's going to the line for a potential 3-point play. Well, they're going to say Chiba were in the lane too early, which is going to give Josh Scott another attempt at the free throw line. We saw that sensational slam dunk for him yesterday, and here he is making, completing the 3-point play. Flipping just beside the elbow, misses. Look at the battle for the rebounds. The Brex is just so much better. They're doing so much better today on the glass. So last time it was size. This time he goes up against Duncan, and Duncan wins the battle. Tagashi wanted to give it back to Duncan. The pass wasn't there. So now Size gets it, and he scores with a little floater down low.
Again, it's the same thing. Chiba Jets much more effective when they get the ball in the low block off the pick and roll. They have to keep going to that option to chip back into this game.
Flipping, calling for the reach. Flippin's got to do a better job of just moving his feet and getting into position. Timeout. Well, with 3:41 remaining in the first half, and Flippin on the bench, and so far so good for the Brex as they have gotten to grips with this Chiba Jets team. To be honest, if you look back at yesterday's game tape, you wouldn't give the Brex a chance against the Chiba Jets because they just absolutely laid the wood to them. But today it has been exactly the opposite. It's been the Brex that have just been far too good for the Chiba Jets.
Well, Jeff, I think the Chiba Jets have also been taking out their game plan today. And also credit to the Brex. The Brex have forced them into very tough shots. And as Drew already alluded to before in this game, is the fact as soon as they come up with a defensive rebound, they're off on the runs. I think what the Chiba Jets need to do is try and settle down, try and get the ball down low as much as possible, try and draw some double teams, but if not, get some easier baskets and try and regroup at the halftime break.
Yeah, I think so. Right now, Flippin is the one he's the only guy that for Chiba to actually playing well and playing comfortably. Everybody else is kind of like hesitant a little bit, not making good decisions. So I think at halftime, I think they need to clear their minds up and then just play like they usually play.
Too hard from the free throw line. Watanabe back in the game. Watanabe rather. So the 1 of 2 makes it a 16-point game. Down low, size. Very impressive.
That was
took on a
very
triple
strong
team
move.
there.
Surrounded by like 4 guys, but he's finished strong.
Ujima in the left corner. Watanabe gets it to Gibbs. Peak from three-point range. Well, the three-point shot has been big today for the Brex. 6 of 11 in this first half. Shudahara, meanwhile, not able to strike from that left corner.
Well, Jeff, the Brex have been very good at making those penetrations and making the Chiba Jets defense collapse, which has led to better, wide open, higher percentage three-point shots.
Here he is, Peak. Well, I think he was trying too hard to make sure he got contact rather than concentrating on his shot. It leads to a fast break. And Gavin Edwards with the putback dunk. Tejuro, that was just not necessary. As you look at the great intensity, the hustle, but what caused that was Peak early in the shot clock taking a shot that was just a poor shot, and he tried to get contact for a foul. It wasn't called.
Yep, I think so too. I think he tried that yesterday too, in the maybe beginning of the first half. Try to shoot quickly. I know he got the rhythm, but that's just bad shot to create easy offense for Chiba Jets, and I think he knows it too. So I think he needs to just take good shots, or maybe just swing the ball, because they got all the other guys that are really hot too.
So that was the good Peak, but it was on the attempt right after that where he just kind of turned into pickup game mode, and it didn't work. He's going to stay in the game though with Iijima, Watanabe, and Gibbs, and Rossiter. 2:26 remaining. And I suppose really for Chiba Jets, they would like to get this deficit down to single digits by halftime if they could. Watanabe goes behind his back. Peak from the arc. And that was much better in the flow. Ball goes out of bounds, and it's rewarded. It's rewarded to the Brex. So a new 14.
I think these 2 minutes is very crucial for both teams.
Wow, boy, Rossiter. Terrific Rossiter, just letting the game come to him today. Takes it back to an 18-point advantage. Extremely difficult shot by Shudahara.
How does it just took 1-2 dribble and pull up instead of going against, big Jeff Gibbs. Create harder shot for him.
Gosh, Rossiter. He looked at his options. He's like, I'm inside the free throw line, and it's an interesting shot. It goes in, it's a good shot. Here's Sides, left wide open. And the Brex are really taking a stranglehold on this contest here before halftime. Ryan Rossiter. Yesterday it was tight at halftime, and I'm pretty sure today it is going to be a decisive advantage for the Brex. And Endo misses. Gavin Edwards with the rebound.
This is key for Chiba Jets. They could go 2 for 1 now if they can get a basket here.
KJ, back in the day when I was growing up, if you were trailing by more than 10 points, it was not a good situation. But with the shot clock universal, the three-point shot as well, such a big part of the game today, a 20-point lead, while it looks big for the Brex, and it is, it's not insurmountable at this stage.
Yeah, that's really true. So all you have to do is get N1 every time. Old-fashioned N1 to come back, right? Back in your
Exactly. Gavin Edwards gets into the lane, puts it up and in. So back to an 18-point deficit, and the Brex will try to hold it for the final shot. So Jeff Gibbs hands it off to Endo. So many players have been effective today for the Brex. And Rossiter has it. Oh, beautiful. Hands it off to Scott. Great Scott. And just like that, the lead goes back to 20 points. What a first half for Utsunomiya Brex. They lead it 52-32 over the Chiba Jets. Wow. Fellas, I'm not sure that I anticipated this after yesterday. It has been an impressive performance. Josh, the Brex have come out and asserted themselves early, weathered an early fight back, and have opened up a 20-point lead at halftime.
They've been able to spread the floor very effectively in this game. You could see that penetrations leading to a Chiba Jets defense collapse, kicking out to wide open shooters. But more importantly, everybody's feeling their touch. As you just saw, Ryan Rossiter. Ryan Rossiter's going with a bit of a Nick Fazekas one-handed floater in the lane as well. But, it's a big now time for Chiba Jets. They have to regroup at the halftime break, and they have to figure out defensively how they can stop the Utsunomiya Brex.
KJ, what are your thoughts after that first half?
Yeah, like everybody mentioned, the rebounding was key, and Brex was really focused. And when they get defensive rebound and reduce the more shots for Chiba, I think Brex has more chance to win it. And now the 20-point lead, I think they're really comfortable. But I think they want to punish Chiba Jets for Game 3. So I think I want to see how Chiba is going to respond in the second half.
Well, the Brex have won this title, and in year one, Chiba Jets have not. Still searching for that first B.LEAGUE title, and yesterday we thought, wow, it's just one more game to go, and they're going to do it. And today they have been out-rebounded 21-14. It was such a big part of their success yesterday. And we talked about how the Brex have committed 5 players to the boards, but just all around there, it's been an impressive job, I think, done by the leadership in that team, whether it's Coach Anzai or the players, to forget what happened yesterday. I mean, Keijuro, some people would have been knocked out of kilter. Yesterday they lacked that confidence. Today it's a totally different team.
Yeah, I think so. They know they had the best record, and they know they're never going to lose back-to-back. And everybody, like I said, stepped up. Even like Josh Scott is running the floor. He had a couple dunks, and he also like mismatched against Togashi, but he never get beat. He tried to use his like smart move by kicking his leg to get the ball out of bounds. Like Watanabe hit a couple threes at the end of the quarter. Ryan Ross did a play like himself. So I think everybody played well, and then second half, I think they're going to see more like Hijima, Endo, Ikaruga are going to step up and make more shots.
And Josh, you know, the shoes on the other foot today. Of course, yesterday it was a close game at halftime. It goes without saying that Chiba Jets, it's imperative that they make a run early if they want to give themselves a chance in this game.
Yeah, of course, they have to play their style and tempo that they played yesterday, of course. But again, they also have to slow things down in the half court when they can't play that transition style. They got to keep going pick and roll with Togashi and, of course, Seba Saiz, other players as well. They have to try and force the ball in the low block as much as possible to get back in this game.
Well, once again, Chiba Jets came into this with a 1-0 lead, needing one victory to capture the B.LEAGUE Finals title, and they are trailing by 20 points at halftime. We'll be right back before the start of the second half.
And let's go on to the next segment of the show. Here, we will be explaining and introducing to the viewers attractions of the B.LEAGUE that are not well known yet, called What's Up B.LEAGUE? Point 2. Asian player quotas. It's a new rule started from this season. Each team will be able to sign with one player from China, Chinese Taipei, Indonesia, Philippines, or Korea, and they do not count as the foreign player quotas. There are two main reasons. Number 1, improving the competitiveness of the B.LEAGUE. It increases the opportunities to play against great players in Asia on a daily basis, and also to deal with excessive playing time of foreign players. Number 2, business standpoint. It enables the league to explore the Asia market, sponsorships, and broadcasting rights. There are currently 3 players playing under Asian player quotas. Jin Liu from China.
やりそうです今度は。
そうですね。どちら側に行くかですね。
あと3秒。ベンドラメ3秒から来たー。
そしてロシターボールを持って残り3秒。
2秒、1秒。
打ってから決めてきたー。
すごい。
見事ですライアン・ロシター。
ミドルから打っていくかっていう判断です。ガード。ノールックで入ろう。いや今の素晴らしいパスです。
見えてました。はい。スピードでかわすことはできなかったというところだ。これで終わるのか。スリーポイントが決まりました。これが素晴らしい。富樫さすがのこのシュート精度がありました。
いやもうね今完全に時間もね、見ながら
残りが5秒になる篠山、ここからアタックを開始。ゴンズに渡ってこれはいい合わせ。いいパスでした。第1クォーター終了。31対23。
これ10秒切っています。スイッチしました。木下のシュート落ちたが名古屋がつないだ。張本決めて第1クォーター終了。
このシュート惜しかったんじゃないですかね。
さあ残りは動き出すショットクロック。コリンズは外から金丸コーチで1000本目。
すごい。さあ富樫がいって最後はギャビー・エドワーズ。最後の最後決めきりました千葉ジェッツ。
バウンドを作りアウトするのがなかなか捉えにくいんで、はい、おっと今の安藤のちょっとダンク気味でしたね。すごいダンクでしたね。はい、
篠山、長吉のディフェンス、辻はもう打つしかない。スリーポイント決めた3本目。キックアウト山内、そして広瀬のスリー、これも落ちる。さあ残りは21秒。ワンポゼッション差。
時間使ってオーバータイムで2ぐらいの形を取らないとですね。
3点が欲しい東京です。リッツビーきたー。
タイムアウト。
安藤聖也 トップオブザキーからのディープスリー、この勝負どころねじ込みました。そうですね、はい、
これファール2回できるんで、多分切り刻むと思うんですよね。
見せるとすぐダブルチームをかけてきます、渋谷です。田中から須田のスリー、今シーズンはスリーポイント拾った。ポゼッション横浜、残り15秒切りました。森川受けてアクセンバーズのスリー、残り 8.3 秒、横浜逆転、新潟タイムアウト。
あの日、私たちはスポーツを失った。熱狂に
It starts things off getting a basket down low here for Chiba Jets at the start of the second half, getting the offensive rebound and then getting bumped by LJ Peak. And apologies, folks, technical difficulties stopped us from going early here at the start, but now we're here and wondering if we might see the beginning of a comeback with that three-point play by Seba Sais.
That was great stuff for Chiba Jets. They scored 3 points in their first possession and cut down to 17 points. So now they have to get another stop to create momentum. Good.
Well, they did get the stop. They did get the stop, and Sais missed the layup. Boy, what an opportunity that was. Great defense. Good hands by Hara to knock it away from Josh Scott, and then Sais just did not make the layup. Chiba Jets with a 1-0 lead in the series. Brex trying to force a game 3, and Ryan Rossiter scores. So effectively, that is a 4-point swing with Rossiter making that shot after the Sais miss. Josh, when you're down 20 points or 17 points, you can't afford to miss layups. Sais turns in the paint. And,
absolutely, Jeff, what you just said back there. You can't afford to miss layups. You must take care of the basketball. But again, it's a good opportunity now for Sais to put some points on the board.
Good call by the referee. You can see the reach by Rossiter. And Sais misses with his first attempt. He's already in double digits with 10 points, but the key stat for him is the rebounds, and he only has 3 thus far. Missed a couple of free throws today. He does make that one. Rossiter's been as good as advertised today. 14 points, 5 rebounds. Now Peak, former Georgetown star. Here comes Endo, back to Peak. 5 on the shot clock.
Very good defense by Chiba.
Endo. Oh, goodness me. The ball is wedged between the rim and the backboard. How does that feel as the great three-point shooter that you are, Keijiro, when this happens?
This doesn't happen a lot, but you know, but when that happens, you know, everybody's like, oh, you know, it's kind of rare shot, you know. And they got the ball back, so that was good.
That's right, the possession error favored them.
Good pass.
Utsunomiya now Peak. With another rebound. Tagashi finds a little space. Now a chance to run for the Brex. Well, they end up with another open 3. Good! Well, that is a perfect offensive set.
I think the Chiba Jets are taking too many gambles on defense right there. You can see Yuki Tagashi trying to come up with a steal, and that leaves them vulnerable. 4 defenders down, wide open three-pointer for the Brex.
Duncan swatted by Ryan Rossiter. Swat and run, and he hands off to Scott. Wow!
A bit of Showtime Brex fast break basketball there. Beautiful fast break there, led by Ryan Rossiter.
Biggest lead of the game, 23 points.
Yeah,
Rossiter again, rebounds and runs. Oh, goodness gracious, and he's going to the line for two. Ryan Rossiter has shown up at the party, folks. He is doing everything. So timeout on the floor. Impressive stuff when you see your big swat the shot, get the ball, and dribble down the floor on the fast break before dishing to an open teammate. Excellent work by Ryan Rossiter. Involved with everything right now.
I think that's why Brex transition offense is so good, because Ryan can rebound and just push, so the wing guys doesn't have to get an outlet pass. He can just run and get a layup. And Josh Scott knows that too. When big man gets a rebound, they can just run, and that saves a lot of time, and then get an easy basket.
Well, Ryan Rossiter is he's going to be flirting with a triple-double today. 14 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. You're up 23 points, 6:21 remaining in the third quarter, so certainly far too early to be thinking about getting him out of the game, to let him rest a little bit. But at the end of the day, if they can maintain this edge, you do wonder if the Brex coach might think about sitting Rossiter down, knowing that a potential game 3 is right around the corner. I guess no lead is safe. 23 points, although it could be 25 after this. Brex have not been good at the free throw line today. That makes them 6 of 11. Now 6 of 12. And Shannon Shorter has come into the contest, as has Gavin Edwards. And now the travel has been called. And it really has been a horror show for this Chiba Jets team in Game 2.
Well, they've just lost their flow. They've lost everything. There's no identity right now in their play. And, at this point in the stage, you got to pick themselves up.
Tagashi flopped over, tried to get the charge, and the referee told him to stand up. Going off 1 foot, Ikaruga, and he will get a trip to the line. Oh, yeah, that was definitely a barge by Tagashi.
You can see that Tagashi is really frustrated, not getting charge call, and he's not playing really well and offensively, so I think he's a little frustrated and getting a little push.
Do you think there was anything about the way the Chiba Jets team came in today's game, Kejuro, that wasn't correct?
I mean, I'm sure everybody was focused. Everybody is ready to win today's game. But maybe somewhere in the head, they were up 1 game. So losing today's game is not maybe vital. So they can't have game 3. So maybe somewhere in the head they weren't as hungry as game 1.
Gavin Edwards. There's the 3-pointer. We're back to a 22-point deficit. You don't want to write off their chances, but they've got to get things done at this end of the court. Endo, air ball. Now Shorter. Perhaps a questionable shot there by Size, and he hustles back though and gets the block on Scott. Tagashi with a little floater, much better.
That's a tough shot because he had to make that one, because if he didn't make it, there was nobody going for a rebound.
But the Pacers for Chiba, like, I think they want to play like that style.
Scott has it knocked out of his hand, gets it back, and then goes right at Edwards, who attempted the block but missed it. And Scott keeps pouring into points himself now, 14. Shorter shakes and bakes and throws the basketball away.
That's great defensive work by the Brex there, but you got to ask the Chiba Jets players. Shorter's made a great penetration on the baseline. Nobody's moved. You can't dish off, you can't kick out because everyone else is way too static on the perimeter.
Well, maybe one of the biggest surprises is that the Brex could have such a commanding lead, 22 points, and Makoto Hiyojima has only scored 1 point. That's how good Rossiter and Scott have been, as well as Watanabe. And Watanabe also in the game going up against Nikumura. Now Rossiter. And Watanabe banks it in.
That was a good move by Watanabe. Didn't set up for the three-point drive and then look for wide open space in the paint.
Shorter goes through his legs. Now the ball batted away and up ahead it goes. Oh boy, Josh Scott missed a wide open Rossiter. Rossiter thinking, boy, that was going to be my easiest dunk of the day.
Yeah.
Go flipping back in. Nice little 1-2 there and finished by Edwards.
Well, that's a good play there to throw it down low. But, Jeff, what I'm concerned of right now is if you watch on the Brex offense, at some point there's going to be a double team here by the Chiba Jets, and that's going to leave them vulnerable, a player down or a wide open player.
Rossiter getting so many touches, everything going through him right now. Hiyojima, three-point shot, and good rebound from Scott. So they will keep it at this end. Well, you're not going to get it all back at once if you're Chiba Jets. I suppose right now you're just focusing on making good plays.
Yeah, I think for Chiba they need to get stopped, but also when they get stopped, I think everybody got to run to get easy points. I think they're kind of playing the pace of Brex and try to play too much half-court offense. I think they got to push, everybody got to run. Instead of maybe drag screen right here.
Let's go flipping, bounce pass to Edwards. And Jeff Gibbs did a great job moving his body. $4,700 fans in the Yokohama Arena right now watching Utsunomiya Brex really take it to Chiba Jets in Game 2 of the finals. Now the ball knocked away from Josh Duncan, and just a terrible turnover.
Yeah, I think I see a couple times the bigs have the ball on his head try to make pass, they're just telling defense that he's going to pass. It's easy for Jeff Gibbs or Ryan Rossi to just pressure because they know that they're only looking for the pass. You got to be in triple threat, be fundamental. Then defense doesn't know what he's going to do and probably make easier pass or drive and shoot.
Well, it has not been Josh Duncan's game, that's for sure. Just 2 points and a couple of rebounds. He goes out of the game. To think about it, the good news for him is that even if Chiba do not come back and win this game, they've still got a chance to win a game 3. Gibbs, meanwhile, goes 1 of 2. So they continue the Brex shooting at a 50% clip from the free throw line. Shorter. Even that was a difficult shot, but he made it over Gibbs.
It's definitely a tough shot, but again, they got a good ball movement, they got a reversal. That's what they've been missing this game, sharing the ball with each other, making it move, playing for each other.
Utsunomiya tries to back down, toe flip, and now he turns, puts it up. And Gibbs called for the foul on the follow.
What's good about the Chiba Jets defense now is they're no longer sending over any more double teams because, again, it left them so vulnerable, which was leading to wide open shooters for Utsunomiya Brex. All standing up and playing man-to-man defense.
Oh, the three-point shot is good for Chiba Jets. That's what they need. They need something positive. Nishimura, of course, he hit a big 3 yesterday, late in the third quarter.
Well, that's a big shot because if they get a defensive stop here, that could be a 2-for-1 for them, which would be crucial going into the fourth quarter. There's the stop.
And you got it, Josh. And all of a sudden, just a little bit of a momentum shift, but they've got to take advantage of this opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. The opportunity is there, but they got to convert to the point.
In the game, 30.8 seconds now. Nishimura looks to inbound it. He does. To Shorter. Nishimura with the penetration. And convert, they do not. So instead, it's Brex with potentially the last possession of this third quarter. Terrific play by Hiyajima! So a terrible finish for Chiba Jets. They had a chance to get even closer, but in the end, they aren't able to capitalize. And it's Utsunomiya Brex leading it 68-48 at the end of 3. Now for a look at the top plays from the semifinals for the Brex.
Rossiter, as always, orchestrating, threads the needle there. It is 2-0. Takeuchi with an offensive rebound. Peek for 3. Overshoots. Takeuchi's going to track it down again. All 6'9" of him. Hiyajima, bang! Finds Gibbs. Gibbs might have to put this one up, or at least attack. He'll give it up. Ikaruga hits that 3. We send the double. Nabe time! Yes! Watanabe knocks that one down. Hiyajima. Scott, Gibbs, Rossiter together with Ikaruga on the floor. Hiyajima for 3. Yes! We've got a whole week to prepare. Tabuse for 3. That is the exclamation point.
Well, that is the prize that both of these teams are going for, the B.LEAGUE championship trophy. And, you know, it's so odd seeing Brex have such a great game and not getting that much offense today from Hijima, but there he was making a very impressive, very tough shot right at the end of the third quarter. And let's see if that gets him going now in this game. Nishimura had a chance to cut it to 16 points, but he missed on his drive. And instead, Chiba Jets go to this fourth quarter trailing by 20 points. The same margin of victory that they won by yesterday. So will there be a game 3? It certainly looks like it at this stage, but Chiba Jets still with 10 minutes remaining and a chance to pull off what would be a remarkable comeback. Shorter misses with his first shot, however. And Shorter bumps Rossiter. He really is night and day compared to yesterday, Rossiter. He's probably the best player in the court today.
Well, he's found that groove today, of course. And when you find that groove where a player like Ryan Rossiter, where you shoot from the outside and the inside, it's very, very hard to contain them.
He's got 15 points. He's got 10 rebounds now. Here he is, steps back. If the three goes, no, he misses everything and it goes out of bounds. So yeah, 15 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists for Ryan Rossiter, and he won't be too bothered by that errant shot with his team leading by 20 points. Shorter turns it over. The break and the bounce pass. Hijima pass thrown behind him, so they bring it back outside. Endo has it. And really, when you're trailing by 20 points, even with this much time in the fourth quarter, the clock is already the enemy. You've got to get going. And Brex turn it over again.
Ryan knows that, you know, he was Hijima's pass, but he took the blame because he's the leader of this team, and then Hijima hasn't played really well this game. So Ryan kind of being a good teammate, trying to say, it's my fault.
Yeah, that's a great point, Kenjuro. Now the turnover, and the Brex have it again. Ikaruga. Well, if there is a game 3, there will be 48 hours before the start. Here's Size picking up the loose ball. Drives all the way in and scores to get it back to an 18-point deficit. And the Brex want to call a timeout. They have all of a sudden lost a little bit of their mojo on offense.
Yeah, they've been very casual on offense there. You can see, I mean, you know, Gibbs is a good player, but he shouldn't really be isolating like that. But good for the Chiba Jets there to get out in transition. Seven Saiz just to lay it up. But both teams very, very sloppy. Even this pass here, quick double team, another turnover. Have to take care of the basketball.
It's crazy that Brex is up 20, but one of the best players, Hijima, hasn't played well last 2 games. If he plays well, you know, Brex is really confident, and everybody's playing well. But yeah, if Hijima doesn't play and still up 20, so that's a good sign.
You saw the foul trouble there for Chiba Jets. Josh Duncan on the bench with 4 fouls. Sato has 3 fouls. No player has more than 2 fouls for the Brex.
I think you can see that Tabuse is giving the advice to Hijima. Probably saying that you are the best player on this court, so just play like yourself. You know, no pressure. Because I play with Hijima, and he's very good.
Oh, absolutely. I remember watching you guys play together for Japan back in 2015. And here is another turnover. Size, and the foul's going to be called on Ikaruga.
I like this from Seiss now. Anytime he comes up with a loose ball, he's trying to change the tempo of this game. Just get it and go. We're down by 18. We got to get back into it. Let's just raise the tempo. Get out and transition.
So one foul on each, and you can see Coach Anzai doesn't believe his team is out of the woods yet in terms of forcing a game 3. But that turnover there is costly.
I mean, you can see a little bit of both teams are not really focused right now. Turnover. Brex is up by 18, so they're a little confident. And Chiba Jets are down 18, so, you know, they're kind of like giving up a little bit.
I'm not sure if that was a pass or a shot. With Rossiter, you never know. And good hustle by Chiba Jets to get down to keep possession. You know, trailing by 18 points, 7.5 minutes, it is there for Chiba Jets right now to make a little bit of a run to get this thing down to single digits, but they are just not making shots.
That's like right there, look, 5-second violation. Nobody's moving. It's the fatigue right now. Everybody's just waiting for the game to get over by the looks of it. They got to pick themselves up. Kejiro, you made a good point yesterday. Fatigue doesn't matter here in the B-League Finals. It should not matter.
Yeah, it shouldn't, because you never know. They're down by 18 points and 7.5 to go. And if they make a couple shots, the game is still back on.
Well, John Scott powers his way down there, and Size really getting after it. I mean, I would think it's much more of a mental thing right now for Chiba Jets than a physical thing.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Jeff. I mean, you think you've got a 1-0 lead, you're one game away from winning the championship. The mental fatigue definitely has set in more than the physical, that's for sure.
Here's Code flipping. Oh, the dump, and Duncan gets an easy one. Now 16 points, 7 minutes remaining. It's all about defense and maybe trying to get some easy baskets. The Chiba Jets. Let's see if the Brex can rediscover their rhythm on offense. Endo. And again, great work down low by Rossiter. So he's fouled by Size. Watch the scrap between Size. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, there's going to be a foul call there on somebody, and they were locked up, and it went on Size. Shot clock down to 5. And now Kurt flipping again, reaching and not moving his feet.
Well, this would be good for the Brex if they can get into the penalty early, because with Chiba Jets chasing the game, they won't be able to take as many gambles for that case. And the Brex can just get to the free throw line and kill this game off.
So here's Peak. He falls down, able to get the basketball to Hyojima. Now Rossiter takes a difficult shot, swooping in for the rebound with Size. Much more active on the boards in the second half. Save us Size. Nishimura turns it over. I think he had the ball knocked out of his hands. Peak, baseline. The way this game was going, that would have been a dagger if it had dropped. size, showing us his ball handling skills and moves. Drives in and just doesn't finish. He's missed a couple down low, having done great work.
I mean, Chiba's lucky because Brex is kind of like not making any shots. So they should just take advantage of it, but even the size cannot make two layups.
Pass whipped down low, and the follow by Rossiter. Looked like Josh Scott might have been hammered on that shot. And you can see his coach coming over and telling him to calm down, don't complain. We're up by 18 points. So timeout called, and it really has been a case of spurning the opportunity. So we've got, again, another look at it. To Josh Scott.
Wow, goodness gracious.
Well, you just can't say enough about Ryan Rossiter today. He has brought it in a big way. 17 points, but also shown the great leadership. Shown that great leadership that you alluded to, Keijuro, of, after Hiyajima perhaps made a bad pass. I can't remember exactly, but he immediately went up to him and said, hey, listen, man, that was my fault. Let's just keep playing. He's just been a tremendous, tremendous player today.
Yeah, I think his awareness of, vision, like how the players, like body language. I think he's such a good job of catching it. And then, you can see the timeout, Ryan Rossiter talking to the head coach, Anzai, about talking about situation or anything, but it's always great that players talking to the head coach, and then players himself talks to the teammates. I think everybody's going to listen to that than just coaches talking all the time.
Toe flipping with the dunk, down to Duncan, and Duncan was rejected. Wow. Now Scott, and he's got and one. He called it.
Well, he's been a big difference in this game as well. They've been able to isolate him in the low block, and he's also been able to come up with more offensive rebounds in this game. So I think key part to Utsunomiya Brex success in this game has been him.
So now we have an official timeout. Josh Scott has been tremendous. I believe that's 16 points for him now, along with his 4 rebounds. And that was, I believe, Hiyajima that got the block on that one.
Hiyajima's block, yep.
Well, they came out today with the right mindset, the Brex. They had a good start. They weathered an early storm. And since that point, they raced him to a big lead. And it has been all Brex today. And now the question really becomes if, unless we see a late charge back here from Chiba Jets, is how are they going to regroup to get ready for a Game 3. I'm sure that the neutral fans will be overjoyed by the fact that, the possibility of a Game 3, because that means more basketball. But for the Chiba Jets, they were hoping to be celebrating a title today, and it, perhaps they got ahead of themselves.
Yeah, that is exactly true. But Game 1, Chiba played really well against Brex, and then Game 2, Brex played really well. So hopefully Game 3, both teams play well, and then see who's the best team, That's what's so good about these championship games, that it's not one and done. I know Game 3 is going to be one and done, but you can see maybe the best of both teams play.
co-flipping with the basketball, and Chiba Jets, certainly the clock is the enemy now. They need points on every possession, and yet another turnover is going to deprive them of having an opportunity to cut into that deficit. 18 turnovers in the game for Chiba Jets. And compare that to 10 turnovers for the Brex. And also the Brex out-rebounding Chiba 35-29. So Chiba have done a better job on the glass in the second half. But it hasn't really made that much of a difference.
I think the good thing for these two teams going into Game 3 is they get 1 day's rest where they can just probably, take care of themselves and trying to recoup themselves for Game 3. As Keijiro, you mentioned, Game 3 will be the decider who is the best team. And I think a good thing for them is that they will have that 24 hours just to recuperate.
Well, Tagashi puts up a three, tries to get a foul called. Referees don't buy into it. Now Hiyajima. Now Gibbs. And Gibbs has a chance for a three-point play. Keijiro, with Jeff Gibbs, you look at him, 40 years of age.
Yep.
And still playing in a finals here in the B-League. And he really has made Japan his home, hasn't he? I mean, he's been here going back to 2010.
Yep, I played with him for a couple of years with him in Alvark. He's actually a little shorter than me, I would say. He's like 186. But when I say I'm taller than him, he always gets mad. But his wingspan is really long. He has shoe size 17, which is unbelievable for his size.
Wow.
And he tore his Achilles on the last play of the finals when they won championship 4 years ago. But he came back in like 4 months. So that's he's incredibly, really like gifted player. But he works hard all the time and takes care of his body.
Well, he's a quick healer if he came back from a torn Achilles after 4 months.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yep.
As we let the, what is it, for these American players especially, obviously, they get contracts and they come over and play, but do you find that most of them settle in well when they come over?
Yes, I think so. They really like Japan, Japanese culture, food, the level of the game is really high, competitive. So I think most of the guys really like to come back to Japan. And, for Japanese players, we like playing with the good American players, good foreigners. Especially like Jeff Gibbs, he's a really unique character. He tried to learn Japanese as well.
Well, Josh, I guess reality has set in for this Chiba Jets team, and Tabuse getting a chance perhaps to come into the game here at the end.
That's a very special moment because young players certainly will be looking up to him and what he's achieved in his career. But again, he's got one more chance, another game here for him and his team to bring a championship home. They live to fight another day.
This will not be a surprise. I suppose you already know this, Keijiro, that Gibbs grew up playing not just basketball but football. Played college football at Otterbein University.
Yeah.
And was All-American in both of those sports.
Yeah, that's why he's built like that. He played football so long. But that's why he loves to hit players. When he's my teammate, he's a great screener, a great teammate. But when he's the other team, I hate to go against him on the screens, ball screen, any off screen, because you know he's going to hit you really hard.
Save size turns the basketball over. And it really is going to be a long 2 days for Chiba Jets as they try to regroup and get ready for Game 3. Of course, they had to win a Game 3 in the semifinals over Ryukyu Golden Kings just to make it this far. So they have experience of winning Game 3s.
Yeah, I think that will help a little bit to their favor because they have experienced it, how to come back and how to get 1 day off and then play.
So it has been a good old-fashioned blowout today, and Yuta Tabuse put into context what he has meant for Japanese basketball, Keijiro.
I mean, he is the pioneer of everything. He is the first Japanese player to play NBA, and at that time, that was, you know, a crazy moment. And then, you know, he's a great teammate. Played national team together. You know, everybody knows him, even though people that in Japan that don't know a lot of basketball, but people know his name, Yuta Tabuse. So that's why he's the idol of everybody in Japan, and he's still playing at age of 40. So that's still crazy.
Well, we have to talk about that 40-year-old again. I mean, Jeff Gibbs, we've been talking about him so much, but we can't not mention that he just went back-to-back from three-point range. Unbelievable performance today from Jeff Gibbs.
Well, I hope he saved a couple of those three-pointers for Game 3, because right now he's on fire.
You know, the crowd wants to see Tabuse do something special. Jeff Gibbs again left open. Oh! He had been perfect from three-point range. That was his first miss. Shannon Shorter puts it up from deep. And Atsushi Ono is, well, he's probably not going to be sleeping too much tonight. And also Sunday. His team has been well and truly beaten today by the Brex. And Brex Nation will be all smiles after this one.
I think the thing for Chiba Jets, I mean, they say that it won't be about X's and O's in the Game 3, but for them it's going to be defense. They can't allow there to be any more scrambles and any more wide open shots for the Brex. No more double teams. They got to play, take the responsibility of individual man-to-man defense in the Game 3.
Yeah, once again, they've got to get the grips.
Yeah, I think the defense is going to be key for both teams. But I never see Chiba Jets for only 57 points in all quarters. You can see maybe 1 or 2 quarters that not playing well, but throughout 40 minutes, I think Brex defense really shut their offense.
Okay, well, it's not the game that we expected, that's for sure, as Utsunomiya Brex strike back with a vengeance. After losing Game 1, they come out and roll to an 83-59 victory over Chiba Jets to force a Game 3 in the NISSAY B.LEAGUE Finals. Well, you can hear right there Ryan Rossiter saying, no celebrating. We've got another game to win on Tuesday. And again, another example of great leadership from him. So it's been a horrible day for Atsushi Ono's Chiba Jets, and perhaps you could give us some thoughts on the play of Tagashi at some point, Josh and Keijiro, and maybe his approach to today's game and what he's going to have to do better. You're talking about one of the premier players in Japanese basketball, And Tagashi came out today and had 9 points, 2 assists, and 2 turnovers. Not what you expect from your national team point guard.
Well, Jeff, I think the thing with, of course, with Yuki Tagashi is, he's such a great player, such a talented player. At times, he does probably forget that he needs to be also a great facilitator as well. And I think he came out of the game, had 2 good looks, but at that point, it was almost like he was forcing the ball too much. He has to have the responsibility of knowing, I'm a great player, but I got to make sure that my team is good as well. I got to make sure everybody's involved. And I think it was just like Game 2 against the Ryoko Golden Kings. When he's not that position or that caliber, the team struggles very much.
Yeah, I think so too. Like Togashi is the face of this Chiba Jets, and he carried this team throughout the season to come to the final. So I know the Game 3, he's gonna take probably most of the shots, and he's gonna make big plays, and then he's gonna lead his team to the victory. So I think today's game, he was kind of like hesitant a little bit, not very aggressive. But like Josh said, you can't just be isolation from the beginning. You have to move the ball and share the ball and include the teammate. So I want to see how he's going to bring to the table on the Game 3.
And I loved what Rossiter told his teammates immediately after the game. No celebrating. Game 3 is coming up. And you can look at the faces of those guys on the bench and look at that. We are going to take this seriously. We can't lose our focus right now. We've got to maintain this edge that we've got. You can see him pointing to his head. Great game by Ryan Rossiter today. So we're going to have some player interviews here. And I think KJ is going to do the honors of translating for us.
比江島選手、第2戦、千葉にやられたらやり返す、そんなゲームだったと思います。勝利した今のお気持ちは。
Chiba punched their back. He said we on the heels, we can't lose any more games. It was great to get a victory.
さあ、比江島さん、これでいよいよ次が真のファイナルとなります。そこへの覚悟、ぜひお聞かせください。
そうですね、もう本当にラスト一戦なので。
It's going to be the last game. Play 100% as a team and get a victory.
また個人としては初の B リーグファイナルへの頂き、そういった思いもあるかと思いますが、比江島選手にとってのこの最後の試合の意気込み、ぜひお願いいたします。
This is going to be your first final of the B League.
まだオフェンスの方ではチームに貢献できてないと思
I'm
ってい
not
るので、
really contributing well
戦ではしっかり
offensively.
アグレッシブにいって。
And I want to be aggressive on Game 3 and
また選手スタッフもそうですが、今会場にいるファン、そしてテレビ画面を通じて見ているファンの皆様にもぜひ最後に一言お願いいたします。
Message to the fans, please.
はい、本当に今日もたくさんの応援ありがとうございました。
Thank you for your support today.
ラスト一戦なので、ファンの皆さんも一緒に
One last
戦
game.
ってください。よろしくお願いします。
Please smile at the end with us.
さあ続きましては本日の試合攻撃面で引っ張りました。
You can see he's a fan favorite and desperate to contribute to this team in any way that he can. Now Ryan Rossiter, and I don't know if he's going to bless us with his Japanese or English. We'll just wait and see.
さあロシア選手、これで互いに一勝です。まずは勝利したお気持ちお聞かせください。
We did what we had to do. Obviously, our backs were against the wall. I thought we came out hard. We played hard the whole game, but that doesn't matter anymore. Now we got to get ready for Tuesday.
自分たちがやらないといけないことは分かっていたので、しっかりハードにプレーして、今日の一勝を取ることができましたけれども、もうこれは過去のことなので、もう次に向けて準備していきたいと思います。
その試合を振り返りますと本当にハードなプレー、まさにブレックスメンタリティ、炸裂な試合だったと思いますが、試合を振り返っていかがでしょうか。
Yeah, like I said, I thought we started the game hard with a lot of intensity. Took care of rebounding early, really pushed tempo. Towards the end, we made a couple of mistakes that we got to clean up. But overall, we played hard. We played together the entire game.
しっかり試合の入りからハードにプレーして、リバウンド面でもしっかり頑張れたと思いますけれども、試合終盤ちょっとミスも多かったので、そこはしっかり修正して、次の3戦に向けて、いい準備をしたいと思います。
またこのファイナルを戦う上では この会場にお越しの、そしてテレビ画面を通じて見ているファンの皆さんの力も欠かせないと思います。ぜひファンの皆さんに一言お願いいたします。
Thank you guys for coming out. You know, it was a great atmosphere, both games, but we're going to need more energy from Brex fans on Tuesday.
本日もたくさんの応援ありがとうございました。とても素晴らしいエナジーで、1戦、2戦戦いましたが、第3戦勝つためにはブレックスファンの皆さんのエナジーがもっと必要です。引き続き応援よろしくお願いします。
ライアン・ロシア選手でした。ありがとうございました。
Josh, I loved his directness and seriousness. He has still got his game face on, doesn't he?
He's actually a very, very nice guy when you speak to B. You're right. He's just such a competitor, and he just wants to win, and that's just the kind of personality he is. True professional basketball player.
おめでとうございました。
はい、ありがとうございます。
Congratulations, thank
第
you.
1クォーターのゲームの入り、チームの勢い、ものすごかったですね。
From the
そうで
beginning
す
of
ね、
the game,
もう2連敗するわけにはいかないので、本当にここ
I'm
で
not going to let
終わるわけにはい
lose
かなかっ
twice.
たので、東地区の王者としてのプライドが
We
出せ
are
たん
the
じゃないかな
champion
と
of
思い
the
ます
East Conference, so we have a pride.
長くチームに携わってこられて、今日チームのいいところ、どんなところが出ましたか。
You have been in
本
Brex
当
for a
に
long
勝利に
time.
対する、執念というか、本当にこんだけ皆さん来ていただいている目の前
We
で
have
す
a
ね、
lot of
2連敗するわけにいかないとい
fans to
う、
this
みんな
arena,
本当に強い
and
気
then
持
we're
ちで、
not allowed to
それがオフェンス
lose
に
twice.
もディフェンスにも出たんじゃないかなと思います。
And we can show that in offensively and defensively.
渡辺さん自身も第1クォーター、千葉に攻められた、詰められたところでですね、2ポイント、3ポイント連続ポイ
And
ン
you
トがあ
made
りました。
2 point and
ベッ
3
クスファン
point
の
in
皆
the
さん、本当にお喜び
end
で
of
し
the
たが。
first quarter.
そうですね、そういうね、自分たちチームに勢いを与えるプレーというのも、僕の中では期待されているのかなと思うので、それが本当に序盤からいいリズムで出てよかったなと思います。
I was glad that I can show
明日
that
は
in the
1日
beginning
休養
of
日
the
ですが
first quarter.
明後日は日本のバスケットファンが非常に注目する一戦になります。明後日に向けて一言お願いします。
はい、先ほども言いましたけども、東地区の、チャンピオンとしてのプライドをしっかり持ってですね、皆さんの前でまた王座奪還できるところを見せれるようにですね、本当に力を出し尽くして全員で頑張っていきたいと思いますので、最後まで応援よろしくお願いします。
おめでとうございました。渡辺選手でした。
Well, Watanabe sounds like he really took it personally that they lost that game one, and he was going to do everything in his power to help them even this series. He was 4 of 7 from the floor, 2 assists, but was just huge with that spark that he provided in that first quarter. Now the coach.
ブレックスらしい戦い、今日はできたんじゃないですか。
そうですね、昨日は本当にファンの皆さんをちょっと失望させるようなゲームをしてしまったんで、今日はそれやり返せたんじゃないかなと思います。
横で見ていましたけれども、安西ヘッドコーチを含めコーチ陣、それからベンチに座っている選手たちの声、本当に勢いといいますか、気合というものが伝わってきましたけれども。
うちのチームはね、もうチーム全員で戦ってるんで、今日はそれが出せたんじゃないかなと思います。
改めて今日の勝因、ヘッドコーチから見ていかがですか。
昨日リバウンドね、かなり取られて、セカンドチャンスポイントをかなり与えたんで、そこのところは選手が本当に頑張ってくれたと思います。
安西ヘッドコーチはメンタルの部分非常に重要視されていますが、今日の選手たちいかがでしたか。
今日はかなりいい状態で出だしから40分しっかりできたんじゃないかなと思いますけど、あと1試合残ってるんで、そこの準備したいなと思います。
王座奪還へ、明日休養日を挟んでいよいよ明後日が大一番になります。明後日に向けてブレックスファン、それから日本のバスケットファンに向けて一言お願いできますか。
そうですね、もう明後日最後の一戦なんで、ブレックスファンの皆さんもそうですし、千葉のファンの皆さんも一緒に戦って本当に最高のゲームしましょう。はい、ありがとうございました。
おめでとうございました。宇都宮ブレックス安西ヘッドコーチでした。
Well, Josh, looking at him before the game, I wasn't left with the impression that they were going to come out and play like that today. He had an anxious look, as you might expect, as the coach. But he obviously did a very good job preparing his team. But I think it's also obvious that he has great leaders in his team. and they came out and took care of business today. As you look back at these highlights of this Game 2, and again, we'll see some impressive performances from this Brex team.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Jeff. I don't think it was a come out and fight for your life. I think it was much more composure. As you can see, Ryan Russell is saying to the players at the end, we're not going to celebrate. One more game to go. But the backs were against the ropes. And again, I just had a feeling that in this game, Utsunomiya Brex were just going to come out very differently. Because remember, they were top of the Eastern Conference, which is arguably the tougher of the two conferences here in the B-League. And there's a reason they were the best team in the regular season. I think they showed that today. But they got to show it one more game, as well as Chiba Jets. They got to come out ready to play because the championship is on the line.
So, Keijiro, as a professional and having played in these big games yourself, what is going on right now in that Chiba Jets locker room, and how do they regroup and get ready for Game 3 on Tuesday? Well, I'm not sure that Keijiro heard me on that one. Go ahead. Okay, and Josh, again, how tough is this for Chiba Jets to bounce back after a mauling like this, knowing they've already beaten them?
Oh, Jeff, it's tough. It's very, very tough because, we allude to the fact that they had this situation in the semifinals against the Ryoko Golden Kings in which they were able to bounce back in their third game, regroup, and make it to the final. But this time, what's the scary thing for the Chiba Jets is the Giant has woken up. Utsunomiya Brex finally came to the party, and the party is just getting started right now. Chiba Jets are going to have to find out, can they party in a Game 3 against the best team? And as I said this before, the best team in the regular season of the B-League. I think it's going to be tough for the Chiba Jets, and I think Utsunomiya Brex have got themselves sorted out. I'm going to call it early. I think Brex are going to bring the title home.
Boy, and how disappointing would that be, Keijiro, for Chiba Jets? That elusive title. They've been to the B-League finals twice, and they've come up empty, and this is the third bite of the cherry, so to speak. That would be a devastating loss for them as a club. So mentally, I guess, from their standpoint, the sense of desperation is going to be there to come out and just give everything in that Game 3.
They want to win finals so badly. I hope that doesn't give a lot of pressure for Chiba Jets. Most of the guys that on the team are still on the Chiba Jets right now, because they haven't changed a lot of team roster. So especially Togashi, he wants to get the B-League champion to prove that he is the best point guard.
Well, Josh, we know how, or rather Chiba Jets know how Brex came out and combated their biggest strength today in terms of limiting their impact on the boards. Can you see them making any subtle adjustments?
Well, if I was the head coach of the Chiba Jets, the first thing I would say to my players is we cannot allow Utsunomiya Brex to have any more wide open looks on the perimeter. We have to take responsibility of our man-to-man defense. Too many times today, there was too many double teams, too many gambles. And you do that against a team like the Brex, you're going to have wide open shooters, and the Brex punish them today. So for me, it's going to be defense. Yes, they have to get up offensively off to a good start, try and control the tempo, but you have to be very principled, very disciplined on your defensive sets playing against the Brex.
Well, our friend from Yokohama sitting back and savoring the fact, knowing he's going to be watching a Game 3 in these finals. And again, I suppose for the neutral fan, that's what we all like, having a Game 3 decider, a do-or-die, all-or-nothing game. And Brex Nation, boy, they left really stunned after yesterday's game, but look at them right now. They're all happy. It's incredible support for Brex Nation, isn't it? How they get out and they all seem to have their favorites, whether it's Coach Anzai or Hiyajima or Ryan Rossiter, you name it. All of these players have fans, and it's just been a great thing to see all the colors. Yokohama City has really put on a good show. Again, we had 4,700 fans turn out for today's game, and that is the maximum that was allowed because of the COVID-19, the coronavirus pandemic. And I would suggest that the majority of them, certainly all those in the yellow shirts, enjoyed themselves. And also, Josh, I'll let you take over that one, referring to Gunma and Ibaraki.
Well, the iRobots, yeah, that's huge. I mean, first of all, I was actually following Ibaraki iRobots last season because their head coach was a big family friend of mine, of course, in Tony Gaboletto. The club has made a change since then. It's been a good change for them. The club has now made it to the B-League, so congratulations to Ibaraki and Gunna as well. Fantastic that they will be joining us in the B-League next season. Going on to what you just said previously, though, Jeff, I just think the fans and the support here in the B-League is just tremendous. It really is a family-friendly, competitive environment. I just think it's just such a fantastic place to be right now within the Japanese basketball scene.
Okay, so again, we have 83-59 Brex winning over Chiba Jets, and rebounds 42-32 advantage for the Brex. 5 more three-pointers. If you're going to perhaps pick a hole into that performance, you look at that free throw shooting percentage, KJ. What happened at the free throw line today for both of these teams?
Yeah, I mean, especially if it's close game, the free throw is going to be crucial for in the game 3. Maybe if it's a close game, they shooting 50% from both teams, so that's not going to get it done. And 3-point percent is not much difference, but rebounding, like I said, it's going to be huge difference today. The scoring leader, like Ryan Rossiter, Josh Scott, Jeff Giss, a lot of bigs are scoring inside the paint. That's high percentage shots than shooting 3-point in these two games. I think I can see it.
Gibbs certainly getting into that top 3 with his flurry of three-pointers there at the end of the game. Not too bad for a 40-year-old. Gives hope to all of us, doesn't he, coming out and having that type of game today. And I tell you what, he knows probably at this stage of his career, titles, he's not going to have too many more opportunities to get these titles, and he's trying to make the most of it. And again, these stats. Again, these stats, I mean, what do you make of this, Josh? Perhaps Duncan down there with 3 assists, but overall, just not what we would expect. In fact, am I reading that stat right? Is that rebounds or assists down the
rebounding?
Okay, apologies. Yeah,
rebounding. Yeah. So 3 rebounds, 9 rebounds. Yeah.
Yeah. 3 rebounds for Josh Duncan. He's going to be seething after that. So game 3, you can see coming up on Tuesday at 7:05 local time. And we're going to be bringing you all of the action. And the Brex Nation, they just don't even want to leave. They're just going to stay here. Okay, now they're going to go. I think they decided they're going to get some good food outside, and they're going to go enjoy the sights and the sounds of Yokohama City before they come back in this great arena to watch Game 3. So, Josh, any closing thoughts from you before we sign off?
Obviously, it's a game that we wanted to see. It's going to be a really big Game 3. This is what you want as a neutral fan. Probably not what you wanted as a Chiba Jets fan, but definitely what you wanted as a Brex fan. But as you mentioned, outside, go get some good food. Hey, you're only about half an hour away from the capital. Why not go to Tokyo, Go enjoy some good time in Shibuya and Shinjuku possibly, but obviously it's a great atmosphere here in this arena. As we said, the capacity was, 4,700. I'm just absolutely loving the passion and, of course, the family-friendly environment that we have here with the B-League and Basketball Japan. You know, it's big, big times now for Japanese basketball. It's going to be a very, very big summer. But Tuesday night, it's going to be the big game of all big games. I've said it right now. I think Brex are going to bring the title home.
You see, the B-League Award Show will be day 1 on June 3rd, and then day 2, June 4th. The wheels are in motion as we all think about the possibilities of who's going to get MVP. I mean, it's going to be a big couple of nights there for the award ceremony. And, of course, Japan's national team is going to be in action. And, again, this is a team that not too long from now, Japan will be playing at the Olympics. Exciting times for Japanese basketball. So, Keijiro, any last thoughts from you?
It's sad that Tuesday is gonna be the last game. I mean, I kind of want to see maybe more like Game 7, like NBA, because these two teams are really good, battling each other, playing their hearts out. So, maybe they should change the rule next time to Game 5 or Game 7.
Well, that's a great point. We certainly have a good time covering these games, but you know what? We're 2 games into it, and it's been 2 decisive wins, one for each team. In Game 1, it was all Chiba Jets as they came out and recorded an 85-65 win. And today, Utsunomiya Brex have pulled even. They won it 83-59. Perhaps against all expectations, just really hammered home. And it's game on, Game 3. Utsunomiya Brex taking on Chiba Jets on Tuesday. Thanks for following us today, folks. We'll see you on Tuesday.